Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the Rotary Club of Gainesville Tuesday meeting at the Cade Museum. Please silence your cell phones, and if you're watching on YouTube, please register your participation by sending an email to info@rotary.org. Today, to lead us in Song and Pledge, Tom Collette.
Howdy, everybody. Hey, the football team won last weekend, right? And we got Ole Miss this weekend. Let's get another one. So are you ready to swing and sway? Come on, guys. I got to swing and sway. I can't swing and sway by myself. Are you ready? Here we go. Gordon, you ready? We are the boys of old Florida, Florida, where the girls are the fairest, the boys are the squarest of any old state down our way. Hey! We are all strong for old Florida, down where the old Gators play. Go Gators! In all kinds of weather, we'll all stick together for Florida. Yeah. Hey, hey, hey! All right. Maybe next time we'll try the follow-up song. Now I won't back down. We might try that. Please join me now in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now welcoming back for our invocation, one of our singers here at the podium, Lori Vidal.
No, I lost my breath on that. Here we go. All right, let's pray together. We are delighting ourselves in the amazing changes of seasons you consistently bring our way, Heavenly Father, into our lives year after year. We move from the summers of heat and vacations and hurricanes to the breath of cooler air and some color in the leaves as fall moves in. Thank you for your consistency in the changes of seasons, and thank you for the refreshment we feel and enjoy with all that is coming our way with the holidays. We are blessed to be in the community of Gainesville with all the natural beauty around us. Bless us all as we seek to fulfill our calling of service above self. Meet the needs of our families, unspoken, as we share our prayers of petition with you, Father, for our friends and our loved ones. And we humbly confess, in the realm of the mundane, it feels so good to beat LSU. And we are thankful, I pray, in amen.
Thank you. For our guests and traveling Rotarians, please remain standing so you can introduce yourselves to our club.
Hello, Rotarians. My name is Wilbur Holloway. I have as my guest my girlfriend, Del Sieg, my younger sister, Jean, my mother, my younger brother, Sam, and Millie, who looks after my folks.
Hey, fellow Rotarians, it's Dwight here. I would like to introduce Chris Wilson. Chris comes to us from Tallahassee, but he is a Gator, so yeah, he's a Gator in Tallahassee. Chris is our Treasury Director over at Capital City Bank. So welcome, Chris. Thank you.
Hey everybody, this is Michael here, and I brought my LA soon-to-be son-in-law, and his business is AI consulting for Razor Company, and anyway, he is here, and Selena will be a little bit in the program, so that's my daughter.
Thank you all for joining us today. Up first with some announcements, we have Jay Norquist.
Good afternoon, everybody. All right, so you may have noticed that you received an email yesterday asking you for nominations for the Board of Directors of 25 and 27. So you'll find on your tables the forms that were included in that email. So there's multiple ways that you can make the nominations. You can do them here, write them down on the form, look around the room, see who you want to nominate. There's also on the back of the form is the table that was included. So in order to be eligible to be a board member, to nominate them, they cannot have been a board member over the last 2 years. So you'll see all the members that are current board members and have been board members. And then also we're soliciting nominations for secretary. Secretary will become president in a couple of years. And so, take a hard look around the room and see who you'd like that to be. Those people need to have been served on the board within the last 5 years. So same thing when you look at this table, it'll show you who the eligible candidates would be. So anyways, please make some nominations, and we're going to be taking nominations this week and through next week at the meeting next week, and then the elections will be held here at the meeting on December the 3rd. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. You've received an email, so if you have any questions, just reply to that email or just submit your nominations, and we appreciate you. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. You know what I'm up here for? What am I up here for? Seafood Spectacular. There we go. In just 2 days, this Thursday, 5:30, Hatchet Creek, our Seafood Spectacular. You still have a chance to buy tickets. Here's the flyer on your table. Here's the QR code if you want to buy them using your phone. You can go over here to Wes, buy them on your way out. You can still get them at the door. We appreciate if you get them in advance. We got stone crab this year, so awesome. We're really excited. It's going to be a beautiful night. The rain's coming tomorrow, and it's going to clear up. It's going to be nice and cool. We're going to have a big fire out there. It's one of my favorite events. So please come out and join us and get your tickets. Thank you.
Yes, that's my cue. Look on your tables if you'd like to join us in the volunteering for that event. One of those avenues is the, of course, wine bar that we're very affectionate and very passionate about. So please come and help us serve. And if you'd like to sign up, if you signed up last year, I put you on here because I volunteered you. So feel free to take your name off if you'd like or move it around. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my fellow Rotarians. I'm so excited to start the preview of the upcoming Sustainable Cambodia auction. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about two things that are going to be on the live auction this year. And Brendan, if you're ready, we'll start with Zulu Nyala, the African safari trip that will blow your mind. How many of you have already been? 1, 2, 3. It seems like more of us. Anyway, I wanted to share some things with you, and I'm just going to let those flip while I talk to you about it, because I always dreamed of going on an African safari, but I really never knew how I was going to make that happen until one day Nancy Hart came up to me and said, "Hey, let's go to Africa." And I was like, okay. And it was a little intimidating. And I think some of us who've thought about buying this trip in the past, I bought it from a Rotarian who couldn't go after she had bought it. I wanted you to see what it's really like. The accommodations were magnificent at the resort. Okay, I showed the room. It's a little blurry. It was the only picture I had. The food was fabulous. We'd go to the Boma for lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We safaried 2 times a day there at the resort, but there were excursions available, and I've included, there's so many pictures, I couldn't pick them out, but you could go and have an elephant experience where we literally were hands-on with these giant elephants, And we went to a 240,000 acre park, Hogluey, where we had great adventures. And then there were just so many things offered. I forget the other one. Oh, we went on safari on horseback, Nancy and I and Stella being equestrians. So there were so many things to do. And once you're in Africa, or at least South Africa, you must take a side trip. So we took 5 days and went to Cape Town, and I included some of those slides. The food was magnificent. The wine region was unbelievable. We circled down around the point of the tip of the Cape and saw everything from the Indian and Atlantic Oceans converging to the penguins that come up every year. So that's just a little bit about it. If I have anything that I can share with you, if you're questioning whether this is something you would want to buy, it is a great adventure and it is a beautiful place. It's the trip of a lifetime. So please consider that. Secondly, oh yeah, and we always run into Rotary wherever in the world we are. Secondly, the second auction item I wanted to kind of share with you was the dinner that my mother and my daughter, we call ourselves the Three Gens, and that we're doing. We're putting one up for auction this year. We did 2 last year. It's complete with appetizers, dinner. We do in dessert. We themed a dessert last year. It was an equestrian theme. It was Nancy. That's Marcia. And we sit down and it's your place. You pick where you have it, the menu. We do all the shopping, and when we leave your house, it's cleaned up. There are people in this room who bought that dinner in the past. Can you raise your hands if you bought one? Davis has, David Gracie has, Ben Campen has, Nancy Hart has. Richard and Susan had one at their house at one point. So please join us. It's a lot of fun. You and 6 of your friends. I have an idea about maybe how we can make more money and extend the number of people, but wanted to share both of those with you quickly. So let me know if you have questions.
And I'm up here at Susan's request to promote the actual program a little bit in Cambodia. And I have been a sponsor of a young man who is now works with a university degree in Phnom Penh in the government. The current young man that we are sponsoring is in elementary school in Cambodia. You can sponsor or you can support in all kinds of different ways. One of the ways is what was just talked about is buy at the auction, and the auction is coming up in December. So bring your friends back and do that. We do have a little bit of a slideshow here. There we go. He's cueing it in. My stepdaughter, who was brand new stepdaughter, went and volunteered, and there she is front and center in those pictures. There's Pete, my first sponsee, and from up on the upper left, a little boy to an adult in the white suit there with Susan in the lower right. And then the last picture is of my current Ranut, who is an interesting young man. You'll get to know these kids. Pete and I are Facebook friends, and his English has gotten better over the years. My Cambodian, or whatever they call their language, has not. But please come to the auction, buy something, donate something. I donate almost every year my architectural services. Ask Dink if that works out. He was one of the users, and thank you.
Thank you all. And now please join me in welcoming Wilbur Holloway to the podium for a craft talk.
So I have the honor of doing craft talk about my dad. Samuel Norris Holloway was born November 6, 1936 in Jacksonville to Luther and Jean Holloway. Sam was number 10 of 11 children. Think about that. He was a decent student at Robert E. Lee, not remarkable. Unfortunately, his father died when he was 17, and he worked his way through school, eventually graduating from Stetson College. He came to Gainesville with the intention of going to medical school, but was flummoxed by organic chemistry. And then he met a hot redhead named Constance Holloway, my mother. And everything changed. They quickly got married, and he got drafted by the Army and spent 2 years in Marblehead, Mass. At Fort Devens in military intelligence. So here's a Southern guy up there freezing with the Yankees. No offense, Yankees. He immediately undertook the selfless task of repopulating the planet, having 4 children in 3.5 years. After his honorable discharge, he returned to Gainesville and sold cemetery plots. He was approached at a cocktail party about the prospect of selling insurance, and everything changed. He excelled and became the agency sales leader, but the company that he worked for did not offer enough opportunity and gratuity to afford a decent lifestyle with 4 voracious urchins eating house and hearth like a swarm of caffeinated locusts. He took a leap of faith and started an agency with the Northwestern Mutual Company. He again excelled and became a lifetime member of the $1 Million Roundtable, which is a prestigious sales group that recognizes sales achievement. He also had time to give back to the community by serving on the city plan board, multiple bank boards, the St. Francis House, Shands Hospital, Rotary, and the building committee for Oak Hammock. He retired in 2012 after selling his company and continued his passion for golf in the mountains of western North Carolina, splitting his time between Gainesville and the Highlands area. He has been a Rotarian for 41 years and recently celebrated his 65th, 66th year of marriage to my mom. A learned and insightful observer of the human condition observed that you can take a measure of a man by looking at his family and friends and how they feel about him. I asked my siblings to share a few observations about my dad, and they did. From my sister Judy, as we kids grew up, you showed us what love of family, hard work, kindness, integrity, humility, and a quiet, amusing sense of humor mean. You made sure we knew our relatives. You connected with people and were compassionate to all. I remember meeting many friends and colleagues who explained to me that you were a man of unparalleled sincerity and integrity. When you won awards or at work or in the community, you modestly said you were just an average guy. You only told clean jokes and sang corny songs every morning to awaken us for school. It was awful. If you ever heard it's nice to get up in the morning with the sun is shining bright at 4 or 5 or 6 o'clock in the good old summertime, and you're an idiotic teenager, you just go, oh my God, make it stop. And I got it the worst because I did want to get out of bed, so. You supported our interests. There was basketball, football, Western horse equitation, softball, travel, car wrecks. Okay, that wasn't supposed to be in there. That was me. I was the demolition, what do you call it? Yeah, I wrecked all the cars in the family. My sister said she was more fit when she played basketball because Dad would jog with her in the morning. He helped her secure an opportunity to travel to Columbia through the Rotary Youth Exchange, an experience that changed her life. It says, you often shared maxims applying to character development and life's challenges. They have made me a better person. Many of you will recognize these that I remember best. Luck equals preparation plus opportunity. Don't confuse processes with events. Give the benefit of the doubt. It's better to give than receive. And finally, the Rotary International motto. Thank you. My sister Jean quoted Billy Graham, "A father is one of the most unsung, unpraised, unnoticed, and yet one of the most valuable assets in our society. Fatherhood is a journey, and fathers play especially play an irreplaceable role in a daughter's life. Being a father is a role that demands patience, a lot in her case, she said that, strength, and a commitment to those he loves. It requires the best version of himself because it's often messy, deep, and profound with challenges galore with 4 kids in 3.5 years. My father's principles, integrity, honesty, and a commitment to excellence has always been his mission. So Dad, thank you for your unwavering strength, for being a man who has guided our family with grace and always by example. You are the embodiment of generosity, courage, and kindness." My brother Sam said, "When I reflect on my life, I can say no one has contributed more to my foundational development than Dad. In the areas of faith, family, community, country, and business, his example is indelible." Over the years in Gainesville, Jacksonville, and Highlands, we have all unexpectedly encountered people who have known Dad, and to the person, they tell a story of how he helped them, advised them, or took an interest in them, and what an authentic and genuine person he is. I personally always took the opportunity to ask them if they had any interesting stories because I needed to get some shit on him. Dad, well done.
Thank you for that, Wilbur. Good afternoon, Rotarians. I am John Thomas. I am standing in today for President Ryan, who couldn't make it. I just have one quick announcement. We'll be having our holiday party on December 17th. And with that, I will invite Guy Jopling up to the podium to announce today's speaker.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. So it is my distinct honor today to welcome our speaker. Joseph Orr has worked with the Boy Scouts of America since 2012. He moved to Gainesville in 2018 to serve the Alachua, Lake City, and Marion County areas for the North Florida Council, Boy Scouts of America. As an area manager, he serves over 60 scouting units, 1,400 families in 2024 to share the values of the Scout Oath and law with our community. Please help me in welcoming our very own Rotary Club of Gainesville member and field director of the Boy Scouts of America, North Florida Council, Joseph Orr.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity to share scouting and its story with you today. We're going to start off a little weird. We're going to start off with some personal fitness. For those who've been scouts, we know that personal fitness is a cornerstone to our program. So I'm going to start here. If you are an Eagle Scout, please stand and remain standing. And I know you're in the room. Okay. Wonderful. Great. Great. Okay. That's right. Well done. Stay standing. Stay standing. It's all fun. If you're a former Cub Scout or Boy Scout, please stand. And remain standing. Now, if your parent or your spouse or your children were scouts, please stand. Okay. All right. And then if you ever been asked in front of a Publix, a Bass Pro, or Ace Hardware to buy some Boy Scout popcorn, please stand. See, scouting has impacted nearly everyone in this room. Thank you, guys. Wonderful. Brendan, can you cue up? Thank you. All right. Thank you again. Like I said, scouting has impacted many, many people, not just the scouts who've been in our program, but the families in our community. And I'm excited to share some things with you today. The first thing is That's a great question. Doesn't look on. Fantastic. Who are we? I think this is the most important thing we can say right now. The mission of the Boy Scouts of America is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices throughout their lifetime by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and Law. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, and to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. That's the foundation of our program. Now, we don't go into schools saying, kids, we're going to teach you how to be trustworthy. We go into schools saying, you're going to have the adventure of a lifetime, an adventure of a lifetime. And that starts with our partners at the local unit level. Speaking of which, many of you know that Rotary International and Scouting have been a partner for many, many years. Since 1918, when Rotary International sponsored its first scouting program. Also know that we have 2 properties, which I'll talk a little bit more later. There are plaques of service projects that Rotary clubs have done in service to scouting and kids in our communities at both the Achakity Camp and Camp Shands. And of course, we have our own award to recognize Rotarians for their service to scouting. I also want to thank this club, and I think it's important to say that, because we all know that there was a pandemic a couple years ago. Maybe you've heard about it. But I want to thank this club in particular, because this club continued its sponsorship of the Boy Scouts of America North Florida Council, and its members continued consistent, generous giving. And because of that, we were able to maintain programs and employees. So from our bottom of my heart, thank you, Rotarians. Let's keep it moving. So our council is officially 17 counties big. It's huge. That green piece you see there, the Louisiana Purchase, is what I cover. And of course, Alachua County is a big part of that, a big part of that. I think it's important you to see that we have 17 counties ranging from Metro Jacksonville to rural Lafayette. So we have lots of different people involved in our programs. A year in recap. And of course, we're finishing up 2024, which I'll update with you. But in our council, with 17 counties served, we have over 7,400 kids served last year. This year, we're on track to serve over 8,000 young people. Last year, we had 540 at-risk young people in Metro Jacksonville where we directly served them and underwrote every single penny for their scouting program. This year, we have over 650 kids involved in that program now. Last year, we had almost 2,700 registered volunteers. This year at 2,900. And of course, 25,000 community service hours last year. This year, we're trending at 28,000 service hours for our families and scouts. It's pretty amazing. But I think you want to hear about Gainesville. So let me tell you, this year we have over 800 scouting families involved in Alachua County alone. We have 30 programs at 15 different churches and service areas chartered here in Gainesville area alone. 8,000 scouting service hours are registered so far. Our scouts in this community are generous with their time, their talent, and treasure. Now, we talked about Eagle Scouts in the beginning, and I want you to know what that means. Nationally, only 5% of all scouts make it to the Eagle Scout rank. Eagle Scout is the highest award a young person can earn in scouting. Not only do they have many ranks to earn, there's leadership, there's service projects, but they have to complete a 100-hour at least service project serving their community. It's important that they also have to have 21 merit badges. A merit badge is a subject such as life-saving or first aid or camping or swimming. These young men and women have to learn these skills in order to be an Eagle Scout as well. Last year we had 153. In Gainesville alone, we had 26 Eagle Scouts last year. It's amazing. I want to tell you a story about 2 Eagle Scouts in particular from Gainesville. It's important. The first one is Linda Mintz. Linda was a 15-year-old who decided to make a difference for local Gainesville firefighters. So Firefighters, when they go fight fires and there's burning smoke and burning structures, they're exposed to cancer-causing agents. And their uniforms and their gear has that on them, it absorbs it, and they have to take care of that equipment. The problem is that if the fire happened early in the shift, firefighters would have to choose on washing their equipment or wearing equipment that may not be fitted to them specifically. So Linda solved a problem. Linda built and gave 2 bunker gear dryers. And if you can just think of this, it's PVC pipe, and you drape the gear over and it blows air to dry out the inside and outside. So instead of the time being a couple hours, 6, 7, 8 hours for drying, it went down drastically to an hour and a half. Much more manageable for our firefighters. The cool thing was, she led a team of 14 scouts and adults to build, deliver these to local Gainesville firefighters over a 2-month period. And it's these dryers, these gas dryers, were valued over tens of thousands of dollars. And she shared these plans with others, scouts and other firefighting stations so they can practice this too. She is amazing. The second Eagle Scout I want to show you is another Gainesville Eagle Scout. Her name is Olivia Foley. Olivia delivered 700 pounds of healing stones to 700 pounds of healing stones to Shands Pediatric Hospital. These were for the kids during COVID. So she worked with 12 different scout units from 6 states to paint messages of hope and joy, as well as the Scout Law, which you saw and heard earlier. So the thing was, the kids were in their healing garden, and the kids had to go find the Scout Law points, all 12. And when they did, they got a small stone to represent their achievement and a message from people all across the country praying for them and wishing them the best of luck. Again, she's pretty amazing. And that's just the tip of the iceberg for Eagle Scouts. It's important to understand that each Eagle Scout has to find something that's significant to them, has to work with not only raising the funds for these projects. For Linda, she had to spend over $2,000 in materials. She spent at least a month preparing and fundraising for that materials and soliciting local businesses for help. They do the project from start to finish, and then afterwards they have to put together this book, and it's reviewed by adults and they're questioned about it. It's a very rigorous process that teaches them how to get something started, how to finish it, and how to move on to the next thing. It's a great thing. So, the last thing I want to say about Eagle Scouts is this, and this is actually all of our scouting. We partnered with Duval Sheriff County a couple years ago to do an internal study of our membership. And we found that 1/3 of 1% only had a negative run-in with the law. I'm going to say that again. 1/3 of 1% of all of our scouting membership had a negative run-in with the law. That's amazing. When kids join scouting, they stay out of trouble. That's the message from Duval Sheriff County. Now, I get to share some more fun stuff. A couple of our Rotarians have visited the camp property we have. We have 2. One's in Orange Park, called the River Base. This one is in Melrose, just 30 minutes down the road, called Camp Shands. And that slide is awesome, okay? I've taken a couple of Rotarians out. Eric and Mary Kate, you guys have been out there, and we'll be taking more this summer. But kids use that slide to stay cool all summer long. This past summer, we had over 807 scouts from Central Florida, South Florida, and our own Gainesville area visit and use that camp facility. Here's some other things they can do. We have an awesome water area, not only canoeing, but kayaking, sailboating. We have a massive climbing tower, 90 feet tall, for kids to learn how to climb up and rappel back down. We also have blacksmith stations where kids can learn how to hit it hard, as they say in the blacksmith station, to build their own metallurgy and such. Our second property is at the River Base in Orange Park. Again, climbing tower, lots of water because we're on the St. Johns River, and we teach kids how to swim. Do you know a lot of kids don't have access to pools, especially in Putnam and Bradford County, and they use our properties to learn how to swim? It's important. Over last year, we had 800 kids attend daily. Over 800 kids attend daily at our day camp. It was amazing. let's get to near the end of our presentation. And I think this is important. My job as a field director is not only to serve units, but to secure funding for many reasons. I'm currently working with the Rotary Club of Jacksonville to secure a Scout Reach van to serve underserved youth. The best part about Rotary grants, which is unique to most of the grants I fill out, is that at the end of the application, Rotarians and Rotary clubs want to know how they can be involved in helping that organization. So that's what I'm here to share with you today. The basic one is, of course, volunteer. Volunteer, you can be a unit leader. If you have a special skill such as construction or blacksmithing or kayaking, you can be a merit badge counselor. You can help directly impact young people's lives, and I'm happy to connect you there. We also have another program you may not be familiar with called Exploring. Exploring is career-based. For example, we have a partnership with the Gainesville Police Department. Kids who think they want to be a police officer join our Exploring program and work side by side with police officers to learn what it's like, what does it take, and how to do it. And they can decide then, before they leave high school, if this is for them or not. The best story we have comes from out of Jacksonville about a medical Explorer post. This kid wanted to be a doctor, very dead set on being a doctor, and he came to learn as a junior in high school that he couldn't stand the sight of blood. A little difficult for a doctor. But thankfully, he didn't spend a lot of money on an education before he learned that. And now we found out that he's a radiologist, so he does a lot of good work. So I share that. The other thing we'd ask you to do is to share the message of scouting. I know the local school system struggles and tries to fix problems such as absenteeism and behavior. Scouting provides a solution for that. The more kids that are involved in scouting program, they attend school compared to other kids who aren't in scouting. They behave better, they're cheerful, obedient, and kind compared to kids who aren't in scouting. So please share our message with them. The last thing I want to share is, where does the money go? Because I think it's important how you know how we spend your generous donations. And the first is this. Last year alone, we spent over $75,000 in scholarships for camping, activities, uniform, and registration. Here in Gainesville alone, we spent $10,000 to help make sure kids could be in our program. We raise money so kids and money can join us. With no money, no obstacles. We operate and maintain our 2 camps. We deliver low-cost programs and events for kids to participate in. And we provide training, not only basic training for unit leaders, but corporate level training on leadership, not only for youth, but adult. A better trained adult leader means a better trained program for young people. I also would be remiss if I didn't give you a date to save. In March of 2025, on March 27th, we have our Gainesville American Values Dinner. And I say that because we had the privilege of last year honoring Steve Spurrier as our honoree, and many of you were there and in the room and supported. This year, we have the honor and privilege of honoring Davis Rimbert and Doug Wilcox, who are also fellow members and friends. That's right, they deserve it. I placed the flyer on your table as a save the date. I'll be sharing that more often, but if you're interested in getting participating, whether as a sponsor or want to be on the committee, Brendan is the chair, a co-chair of that event is with me as well. So we work hard to serve our community here. I have a video which I hope will work. It worked earlier this morning, so we'll see. Maybe it works. Do you want me to try again? Oh, we're good.
It's self-confidence. It's leadership. Leadership. It's leadership.
It's respect. It's care. And once I've experienced scouting,
it will always be with me. These lessons will shape me for life. These skills prove I can succeed.
I can overcome. These values will help me make tough choices. Not to choose what's easy, but what is right.
For myself.
My community.
For my nation.
Because when I take this oath, it's the first step to forging
a better path into my future.
When you posted your colors, this is what you stood for.
Your support carries on these scouting traditions.
hope you'll continue walking with us as we continue to shape the next generation of leaders.
Before questions, I'd just like to personally thank some executive board members for the North Florida Council in the room. Mary, Kate, Doug, and Eric, thank you all for your tremendous support with your time, talent, and treasure. We're very grateful for all of you. Questions at this time?
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Doug Wilcox. On your table also, which Joseph was remiss in mentioning, is a flyer for our sporting clay event, which is in March. I've been on this committee for about 14 or 15 years now, and last year we raised about $55,000 for scouting. For those of you that are shooters, we'd encourage you to sponsor a team and come and enjoy. It's a really fun event. For those of you that are interested in serving on the committee, we would love to have, if you look down this list of participants, it's heavily in construction. I wonder why. So we'd like to open doors to other industries and other networking possibilities. So if you'd like to help us, Joseph and I and our current committee, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
You mentioned that affordability is not an obstacle to any child wanting to become a scout. How do you market that to the underserved community, and how do people find out about it?
Great question. Thanks, Scott. We have a marketing drive every fall where we go into every public school and pass out flyers and do in-classroom presentations. And on that flyer, it says that financial assistance is available. Depending on the school, we also make more direct announcements just on if they're Title I or not. And then, of course, when we partner with specific charter partners or sponsoring organizations, they may even put on the cost of the flyer free. So all depends. Great question. Thank you.
We have another question if we have a moment from Zoom. Jenny Van Hart asks you, Joe, but the Scouts are rebranding. How does that look for your council?
Great question. Okay, so this is a complicated answer. The simple answer is we are changing our doing business as name. Our charter documents are with Congress since we started, and those documents and our name isn't changing. So we're still going to be the Boy Scouts of America. We are moving to a doing business as branding as Scouting America. And mainly just to make sure that we're not putting any barriers in front of our young people. When we say we're the Boy Scouts of America, sometimes young women may be confused about what that is and if they're able to join, and they can. So we are still the Boy Scouts of America. We are a separate entity from the Girl Scouts, and they do great work. But our doing business as name will be Scouting America, just so we can make sure we're attracting everyone who wants to be in this program and removing those barriers. Great question.
Would it be trademark or copyright or any kind of infringement if I took the domain and started marketing Beer Scouts of America?
What Scouts of America? There was one more question over here. Oh. Bourbon Scouts of America. That's an adult chapter, I believe. Much further.
When you ask for Eagles to stand up, you should ask for their parents. Because I have to say, we saw the circle close as my Eagle took his Cub Scout to do the Derby Day, the downhill Derby. But then he couldn't go camping with him. And my daughter-in-law took her Brownie, and they all went with the Boy Scouts. Being a really serious Girl Scouter, you wonder about this. It's going to be fine. It's going to work out really well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys very much. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Joseph. In honor of you speaking with us today, we are going to make a donation to the Child Center for Early Learning. Just a couple quick reminders. Next week's speaker is Dr. Catherine Saylor with Defenders of Wildlife. Quote of the day: "A scout is never taken by surprise. He knows exactly what to do when anything unexpected happens." And then one last thing, our reading safari number is 530. 530. And I hope to see everybody on Thursday at the Seafood Spectacular. Oh, yeah, I got one. JV squad, so.
Especially because I was just, a few months ago, I was up in Maryland and Chesapeake Bay crab, big blue crab. That's real crab.
Yeah. Yeah, down here they don't have that. Yeah.
Holloway's, I went to school all
Yeah, that was an awesome speech, though, even though